Hello, let us discuss the third example on nesting of the loops. So again we will open the saved file by clicking the file menu and from the drop down menu select the open option. Then in open a file window we select the saved file and that file is here EXP8C.c. So clicking open tab, file gets open. So in the beginning as a comment it is written that write a C program to print the number pattern as given below. So this number pattern we have to print using the nesting of the loop. So let us try to understand the program that is written to print the number pattern as shown. So in this program here we say that using the preprocessor directive has include standard input output .h and conio.h header files are included. Then first statement in the main function is integer I comma j semicolon. This defines two integer variables I and j. Then clear screen clears previously written anything on the output screen. Then I equal to 1. Value of I is initialized to the 1. This value of I is used as a control variable for the while loop, and this while loop is the outer while loop. Then while, and in while condition is I less than or equal to 5. So this set the condition for the rows. So as we have to print the 5 rows of the number. So for that one condition set as a 5. If we have to print the 10 rows of the number, so 10 this condition should be I less than or equal to 10. So how many rows are to be printed, that decides what should be the condition in the outer while loop. Then within open and close brace of the outer while loop being condition true, we enter the body of the outer while loop. So inside the body of the outer while loop j equal to 1 semicolon. This initialize the control variable for inner while loop. So its initial value is set as a 1. Then while j less than or equal to I. Here we set the value of j less than or equal to I, because what should be printed in the first row, in the second row, that depends on the rows number. So here condition is set as a j less than or equal to I and value of I is equal to 1. So initial value of j here is 1. So 1 is less than or equal to I. So condition is true. So body of the inner while loop is executed, and in this body first statement is print f %2dj. Print the value of j at the format specifier %2d. So value of j, that is 1, gets printed. Then value of j is incremented. This value now becomes 2. Then condition is tested and 2 less than or equal to y, that is equal to 1, is false. So control comes out of the inner while loop, and out of the inner while loop here we find print f/n statement. Then this print f statement, that is after printing the first row number, and in first row 1 is present, then in the next row we have to print the number. So for that one, print f in open and close parenthesis, and also in the double quotation mark slash n semicolon is there. So this printf statement just bring the cursor in the beginning of the next row after printing the number in the first row, that is 1. Then value of value of I is incremented. That first row is complete, and cursor is brought to the next beginning of the next row. Value of I is incremented and condition is tested. Value of I becomes 2, 2 less than or equal to 5. Condition is true. Again, body of the while loop is executed. So again in the body of the while loop, first statement is j equal to 1. This initializes the control variable to 1 for the inner while loop, and then condition in the inner while loop is tested. So j, that is 1, less than or equal to I. At this time value of I is equal to 2. So 1 is less than or equal to 2, condition is true. Then body of the inner while loop is executed. So in the body, print f statement prints the value of j at format specifier %2d. So value of j is 1. 1 gets printed, but it gets printed using the 2 column space. Then value of j is incremented, and when it becomes 2, so condition is tested. 2 less than or equal to 2, condition is true. Then again body of the inner while loop is executed. So using printf statement, we print the value of j. So value of j this time is 2. So 2 is printed at the format specifier %2d, and when after printing the 2, value of j is incremented, its value becomes now 3. So when condition is tested, 3 is less than or equal to 2, condition becomes false. Then control comes out of the inner while loop, and then it executes the printf statement that bring the cursor in the beginning of the third row, and again value of I is incremented, that is control variable for the outer while loop. So this value becomes 3. So 3 is less than or equal to 5. Condition is again true. Then when body of the outer while loop is executed, in the third row we print the number 1, 2, 3. And after printing the 3, when value of j is incremented, then its value becomes 4, and then condition j less than or equal to 3 becomes false. So control comes out of the while loop. So printing and outside of the while loop, printf statement bring the cursor in the beginning of the next row after printing the number 1, 2, 3. Then again value of I is incremented. So in this way, again value of I, that is 4, less than or equal to 5 is true. So again when body of the while loop is executed, then in the fourth row number 1, 2, 3, 4 gets printed, and then the cursor brings or printf statement brings the cursor in the next row, and for the value of j I equal to 5, condition is again true for the outer loop, and when body of the outer loop is executed, we print the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then when value of I is incremented, this becomes equal to 6. So 6 less than or equal to 5 becomes false. So control comes out of the while loop, outer while loop, and the next statement outside of the outer while loop is get CS, that holds the output screen where pattern of the numbers are printed. So let us compile this code to see whether error is present, if there is any error present in the code or not. So warning and error displayed are 00. It means that no bug is present in the code. So now let us run the program. When program is run, pattern of the number is displayed. So here we say that in first row 1 is displayed, in the second row 1, 2 is displayed, in the third row 1, 2, 3 is displayed. So in this way number of the rows and number in the particular row can be printed using the nested while loop. Now if we want to change, that is instead of number of rows as a 5, if we change this as a 10, then number of rows are going to be 10, and in first row 1 and in the last row it is going to be from 1 to 10. So let us run this program. So when this program is run, we can print the number as shown in this pattern. In the first row 1, in the second row 1 and 2, in the third row 1, 2, 3, and in the last row from 1 to 10. Now if we want to print number pattern as in the first row 1, in the second row 2, 2, in the third row 3, 3, 3. So what change should we make? So here as we are printing the value of column. So if we want to print the in first row 1, in the second row 2, 2, in the third row 3, 3, 3. So instead of the printing the value of j, if we print the value of I here, then we will see that in the first row it is going to be 1, in the second row 2, 2, in the third row 3 is repeated 3 times, in the 10th row 10 is repeated 3 times. But in the last row when 10 is repeated, column is space instead of the 2, if we make this as a 3, so we can see 10 separated from another 10. So let us make this as a 3 and compile this program first to check any bug present in the program. No bug is present, so we can run the program. So let us run the program, and here we see the pattern of the number, that is in the first row 1 is there, in the second row 2 is repeated 2 times, and so in the 10th row 10 is repeated 10 times. So in this way we discuss the nesting of the while loop, and nesting of the while loop, how a pattern of the number can be printed.